Hello and welcome to this video and Merry Christmas to you! Today I'm going to make a little plaster gnome. This mold is actually a Sophie and Toffee mold that I got I think last year in a box, and I decided to use it for plaster because I actually have a lot of fun plaster painting and I think I'm doing it way too little, even though I technically have all the supplies for it. But it's always been a craft that, I enjoy but don't tend to go back to a lot, so I decided to do this as a little, decoration for Christmas. Now, I'm not too much the person that likes the bold Christmas decoration colors and stuff. I think just for me personally it's a bit too much, and Christmas honestly is not quite my favorite holiday. I enjoy like Halloween or Easter a bit more, and autumn is my favorite season. Don't get me wrong, I like winter when everything is sparkly outside, but this hasn't spoken to me as much. I know a lot of people are obsessed with Christmas, which is totally fine. Everybody can have their own, likes and dislikes. It just never was something for me. But I still decided, I don't really have too much Christmas decor. I have more like wintry decor, like reindeers and like rafts that are more like neutral colored, don't scream like Christmas in your face. So I decided I want to make something that is a little more Christmassy but not too over the top. So I decided to go with like these neutral, more like dark green colors for this little gnome guy, and overall keep us more earthy tone neutral, but with a little Christmas flair. So I started off by mixing this custom green, and by the way, I'm trying to use up my cheap acrylic, so this will take a couple coats, but this is really the only type of project where they work well, and I have so many of them because I always got them as like gifts and stuff in sets. And like some colors of these work great as like washes for models because they are not that pigmented, so don't have to worry about like having too saturated like washes. But a lot of these colors I don't really use for that, including like the greens and stuff, so I thought this was one of the most perfect projects. Plus, like, painting on plaster is like the easiest thing in that regard. It's way easier because you can just layer if you use flat colors instead of like when you're trying to paint on a canvas and like the colors aren't saturated enough, because that really can like mess up a project. But as you can see, like the brown and stuff, they all needed multiple coats. But that was totally fine because it was simple shapes and I didn't do anything special like adding a gradient or something. I totally was thinking about adding like a gradient to the little like guy's hat, but I decided to not actually do that because I thought it was too much with the other things that I want to add later. So, just nice and simple, just like a darker leathery brown for the shoes, a like lighter brown that totally looks like a drumstick or something, for the burlap sack thing that he's carrying. And for the beard, I'm gonna add something special as well as for the stars that he has on his cap. But first of all, the eyes were like very small and indented, so I used my fine tip acrylic paint pen, and then it was time to apply the stars. And of course I went with foiling because it's nice and shiny and I actually like using foiling. The only thing is I still don't know where I put my foiling liquid. We have 2 bottles somewhere. I always find them when I don't need them, and when I need them I can't find them for the life of me. I always think like, oh, I put them somewhere where I can find them easily, and then I just don't. So instead I used tacky glue, which worked fine, but not as cohesive. Actually, some of the spots I had to fix with a little bit of gold paint, but you can hardly tell, honestly, because this is a cheaper gold leaf, which it's still pretty shiny, but it's not as like vibrant gold, even shiny as like some of the others. But that's totally fine because it works out really well in the end, regardless. And tacky glue works pretty decently. You just have to like let it dry a decent bit, or you will like lift up the stuff around it again. Luckily I'm working on plaster, and since plaster is a bit more porous, it like takes the paint more, or the glue, but yeah, there's still a layer of acrylic already on top, which like kind of prevents that from happening. So I had to like go over some of the stars again, apply some more gold leafing, and then wait for like a good half hour until I could remove it. Still lifted off on some edges though. I guess it just really didn't want to work in some parts, but you know, I think in the end it looks good. But also I had some trouble having certain parts to stick to this because the plaster I'm using is a smooth cast, and I should have really used gesso. I think for the next project I'm gonna use gesso. You can kind of tell like on the bottom corner at the shoes and stuff it has been lifted off, which I absolutely don't notice, only after I put on the varnish and took the pictures of this, but you know, it's alright. Now, as I said, I wanted to make the beard a bit different too, and to do that I'm gonna use fake snow powder. This powder is usually used for like when you do modeling work and stuff, but I thought it would be perfect because other than glitter it does sparkle, but not as much. It keeps mostly white, which I think, you know, is a nice touch, but not too much all at once. I needed 2 layers because like a little bit of brown from like me accidentally overpainting and stuff showed through. So I decided, you know, after it was completely dry, I'm going to apply another layer of glue and then another layer of glitter, and that actually worked out really well. And with that, this simple little guy is done. Now, as I mentioned, I actually went also over the stars a little bit with gold paint, just to fill in the gaps. And they're definitely not as shiny as I hoped I would, especially for some reason on camera. Like, they were shinier like in real life, but I still think they fit the vibe quite well. Also, another thing I did while overpainting, I accidentally missed that my camera wasn't recording, and my gold paint got a bit all over the little cap he has. So instead of like trying to like paint it over with a custom green again, because that was dried up at that point, I had to make a decision on how to fix it. So since I was like already really on there, so I decided I'm gonna give it like a gold sheen. It's like a bit more prominent on the pictures in this regard, but it's actually, you know, a bit more muted and you only see it in special light in real life. But I still think he turned out really cute, and it actually fits quite well to his vibe with like the golden cap. Makes it look a bit different to his outfit. Either way, it was still very enjoyable painting him, and I hope that this may inspire you to make your own like Christmas figures and stuff, paint them. Maybe even around Christmas time, you know, gather your family or friends or something. Or maybe, you know, go on a Discord call with some other friends and just paint some plaster figures. You can be as creative as you want, of course, and customize them as much as you want. But I've also seen like a lot of people that have like customized nutcrackers and stuff. That seems to be the new craze. So I guess, you know, you can also paint that together with friends. I think like spending some quality time with friends and family and creating like cute little guys is very fun and nice. And of course you always have the option to like make your own clay figures and then paint them. You know, I think it's always nice to like sit together. Some people do like painting with friends, some people, you know, do like sculpting with friends, and I think it's a beautiful thing which just, you know, especially in the colder winter times, it's nice to sit together and just having fun. And of course, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I hope you all can spend some lovely time, being it with family, friends, or by yourself, and just enjoy the Christmas holidays and hopefully a white Christmas wherever you are. And, you know, celebrate a little bit until like New Year's is coming with hopefully not a lot of work for you guys. And as always, I will see you all next week. Have a great day. Bye bye.